Hey guys, we're here at Gen Con. I'm Will.
And I'm Ryan.
And this morning we're joined by Raymond, the designer of the game Corrupted Kingdoms. We're doing a little walkthrough. This game funded on Kickstarter earlier this year. They've sold through a bunch of copies. Give us the 10-second rundown of what we're looking at.
Yeah, sure. So you play an evil corporation ran by evil monsters, and you're trying to influence the different kings, queens, lords, and ladies of the realm to get them to pass bills into law which meet your evil hidden agenda.
Sweet. Okay, so walk us through some of the details in the game, especially these sweet components.
So at the start of the game, you get one of these. This is your shareholder card. And for example, here we have Mothers for Underage Labor, a deliciously evil card. They support civil liberties. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get other people to pass bills of that type.
Okay.
The game is pretty simple. There are only 3 actions you can do on your turn. The first action is you can gain one of these favor tiles. When you gain a favor tile, you can either immediately chuck it and take some minions to help you in your evil quests, or you can attach it as a rider to a bill. Boom. There we go. The other thing you can do as an action on your turn is you can influence one of these leaders. When you influence them, you're going to pay this cost. So each one of these leaders has a separate cost associated with them. In this case, this guy here, you have to pay a demon and a golem. And then you can gain a little bit of control over him.
Now, where does the negotiation come in?
Oh,
that's my forte.
That's a really good question. So before we get to negotiation, let's talk a little bit about conflict.
I like that as well.
I like conflict. All right, so in this, I went here. I could have also kicked you out of there.
Ah,
right?
Very nice.
Yeah. And so there's a little bit of back and forth there. So the negotiation aspect all happens down here. Let's say that we got a couple bills going. We got a bill going with multiple people on it. Let's say there's a little bit of me, there's a little bit of Kevin here, and there's a little bit of we'll get you in on this action too, right?
I'll say at the red seat. I'm gonna lose.
So we've got a bill that we're going to try to pass. All of us, we're kind of allied together on it, right?
Okay.
But you obviously don't. You're not going to get any points on it. Well, let's say, for example, that you had some influence up here. Go ahead and put 2 more cubes there.
It's quite a bit of influence. I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah, right now I don't think you and I can work together to pass this, because what we need in a smaller player game, we're going to need 6 votes. We need 6 yeses.
From the board.
And right now we only have 1, or I'm assuming purple's not voting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're nowhere near it. So if we want to pass it, we need to bribe him.
Yes.
Right? Or we need to work together, or maybe try to get black to come on our side, right? Maybe if we can convince black to get in here and to do stuff. Another thing to look at is in the voting, we get a vote for every one of these cubes that we have on the board. So right now I have 3 votes and I'm trying to get more votes. I need a total of 6. When we go to a voting session, everybody's going to take their ballot token and secretly reveal whether they support it or not.
I love it.
Earlier, I mentioned the negotiation aspects of the game, and I mentioned that you could go back on the deal, right? And so I could say, I'm going to vote your way, right? Of course, you trust me, you've given me everything you need to vote. Well, here's my vote, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right,
knife in the back.
Yeah, good.
Now, the beautiful thing about this game is everything in it's tradable at all time. You're always kind of horse trading back and forth. You're deal making. You're kind of extorting other people. For example, you get these cards, right? And they have they're once per game special abilities. And one of the things I like to do is say, hey, you don't give me a point here. You don't let me get one of these or get one of these. I'm just going to kill the bill. It's just gone, right? And of course, half the time I'm bluffing, and the other half of the time I'm not. So everything in this game is tradable. Your guilty pleasures that you acquire over the course of the game are tradable. Your completed favor tiles that you've already scored are tradable. The minions you have are tradable. I could bribe you with anything. Now, here's the rub. If a deal takes place in the middle of a voting session, we're voting on a bill, or it takes place over multiple rounds, you can totally betray the deal. You can go back on your word.
Oh, I would never do that.
So, for example,
game.
if you vote on this with me now, I'll vote on your thing in the future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Favor for a favor.
Deal.
A favor for a
Agreed.
favor, right? Well, be careful because maybe I'm not very trustworthy. Maybe next time it comes back around, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
All right, so cool. Tell us win conditions. This is a 2 to 6 player game.
2 to 6
correct?
player game takes
Okay.
about an hour with 6.
All right.
A little bit less with fewer, right?
Okay.
The goal is to get the most points. The way you get them is by scoring these, by voting on these different bills, and you want to kind of combo them with these guilty pleasure cards. And you also get guilty pleasure cards anytime one of these. So there'll be a tableau of cards up here which you can choose from. So for example, let's say I've managed to pass these 4 lightning bolts here. I have 4 lightning bolts. I have 2 cards that multiply. So this is worth 8 points. So this is worth 4 and 4, total of 8. Also, your shareholder card. So this is what I want scored on my score pile. My shareholder's card scores off of what's in other players' score piles. So I secretly support civil liberties, right? I secretly support these flags, and there may be a bill over here that has like 3 flags on it. And I'm like, I'm not going to score any points off of that. You know, you gotta sweeten the deal.
Me.
You gotta bring it in, right?
And then
really,
at the end, boom, I took my points.
right? I got like 5 points off of that deal. Look at that. Look how great of a negotiator I am.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. It looks fantastic. I love the theme. I love the concept. The art looks really
The
great.
components are just so interesting. I'm just looking everywhere because everything's just gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man.
What's
Yeah.
the MSRP on this?
So the MSRP without the wooden meeples is 40.
Okay.
With the wooden meeples is the deluxe version. It's 60.
Okay.
The reason we do that is one of our kind of corporate tenets at Artana is inclusivity. So you'll see it in all of our games, and we realize not every gamer has money to afford multiple $60 games. So we want to make the game playable. And when it turns out some of the components add an incredible addition to the price.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, let's add this as an add-on.
That's a good idea.
So if people want it, they can get it, and if they don't, they can still play the game.
Cool, cool. Well, thank you guys very much. That was a quick overview. I'm sure. Tell us where we can find more information.
You can find more information on Artana's website and also BoardGameGeek.com.
Cool. Thanks very much.